Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, folks. Welcome into The Odds Couple. It's Thursday. That means it's the big show, and it's opening day, which means a lot. Well, to me, I don't think it means as much to CJ Hurt or John Roser. But Rob Fisher's with us live from Oklahoma City. It means a lot to you, I know, Rob.
Happy opening day. The Cardinals are tied for first place today.
Yes. So, well, for the last time, perhaps.
Probably.
This season.
Although Devin Walker pointed out to me that Sonny Gray is 3-0 on opening day.
Oh, well, that's good. He's toes the rubber tonight for the Cardinals.
Yes, yeah,
so that'll be
your
good.
Opening day starter.
Steps onto the bump.
On the bump, yep.
Does baseball have more like weird phrases and any other, like toes the rubber, steps onto the bump than any other like
takes
sport?
the hill?
Yeah. Just baseball has a lot of those. A can of corn.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of weird phrases you don't hear in other places.
The 6-4-3.
Yeah.
It's what makes it such a beautiful game, you know, the people's game.
My son's playing Little League Baseball now, and I saw the other day a kid got thrown out, and if you had to write it in the scorebook, it would be a 2-1-3 put out to first.
He didn't get thrown out of the game. He got thrown. Okay. I was like,
But it was just like a swinging bunt, and the catcher picked up and for some reason threw it to the pitcher, and then the pitcher threw the guy out at first base.
You should bring a scorecard to your kid's Little League game.
No. Because then I'd have to like sit and watch the games. I'm not doing that. I'm
not going to do that.
And you'd have a lot of weird scores like the 2-1-3. You'd have a lot of those. You'd run out of room on your scorebook if you take it to a kid's game.
That's true. And also, like, I don't understand how they do the batting lineups. Like, it's not, you know, in Major League Baseball, you have a lineup and you follow the lineup. In these kids' games, it's just kind of every man for himself. Some kids bat 5 times. Some kids bat once. I don't know how it works. I don't know. I mean, I think there's some logic to it. Everybody's supposed to get an AB, but it's all kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Major League Baseball is here today, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We're going to talk about NCAA tournament. We're going to talk about the NBA and talk about our brackets. We got fish nuggets.
Yep, nuggets.
Took CJ a second. And we got a top 5. We got free picks. We got everything you want. So let's start with the NCAA tournament, which, surprise, surprise, it starts today. It kind of felt like it snuck up on me. The men's tournament tonight. We get a couple games. We got Alabama, BYU, Maryland, Florida, Arizona, Duke, and Arkansas, Texas Tech. Fish, of these 4 games, which odds jump out to you?
I think the Alabama game is the one that I like the most, minus the 5.5 against BYU. BYU, who I believe is very good, and a team that I thought would win a couple of games, and they have won a couple of games. But I think that run comes to an end today. You know, they survived a Wisconsin team to get here to the Sweet 16, but Alabama continues to roll, and Alabama continues to score a lot of points. They got 90 in their first game. They got 80 in their second game, blowing out St. Mary's, another team that I really liked in this tournament. So I like Alabama. I think 5.5 is not enough for the Crimson Tide today against BYU.
I'll take, you know, the other one to me that I've had Alabama winning it all, so I'm kind of rolling with the Tide. But the other game of today's schedule that I feel like there's probably some value there is that Florida-Maryland game. Because the whole Kevin Willard situation has been so weird for Maryland. We, on the Monday smaller version of the Odds Couple, we talked about the video clip of him throwing Damon Ward under the bus and trying to get a new contract and all that. Now, today they're saying that he's agreed to become the Villanova coach after Richard Pitino was supposedly going to be the Villanova coach. And now he backed out and went to Xavier instead. So Kevin Willard he's had a foot out the door for like the last week, and now both feet are out the door, it seems like. So I feel like for Florida, playing against this Maryland team, like Maryland, they beat Colorado State on a buzzer beater. It was great. But Florida's a class above them, I think. And to only be, 4.5, 5.5 points, to only be given that little, like I feel, or 6.5, I'm sorry. I would roll with them in that game. The other one, that BYU Alabama game, was it UCJ? We talked about taking the over in that one.
Yeah, take the over because you got Alabama who leads the nation in scoring. BYU is an offensive juggernaut as well. What was the over 170?
Over under 175.
175. Yeah, hit that over. Alabama's averaging 90.8 points per game. BYU is right around like 85, 86ish points per game. That particular part of the bracket has Alabama, Florida in it as well as BYU, and Florida's third in the nation in scoring as well. So it's a lot of high-powered offense happening over there in that side of the bracket. I'm with y'all on the Maryland thing. Florida hasn't lost a Sweet 16 since, let me check my notes.
Which notebook is that?
That's workplace select.
Oh, okay.
Yes, all day, every day.
Every day.
All day.
Florida's last loss in the Sweet 16 was 1999. They've won 8 straight Sweet 16.
Why'd you say it like that?
Because it was the 1900s when they did it.
Shout out Prince.
Shout out to
And
Prince.
99. It sounded like you were talking about like the Magna Carta or something.
Well, that's the last time that they lost, Lang, in the Sweet 16. They've won 8 straight. They're going for 9 straight. And here's an interesting tidbit as well. The past 10 tournaments where teams have had a buzzer beater and then gone on to play the next game, teams are 1-7 in games following a made buzzer beater. Maryland had a buzzer beater last time out. We'll see if that trend holds as well.
Forget the buzzer beater. To me, like the fact that they barely beat Colorado State doesn't bode well for them going against an awesome Florida team.
Now, Florida's on one of those runs. Florida's not barely beating anybody. They're just hammering everybody. They hammered those teams in the SEC, and the SEC was full of really, really good teams. They hammered them, especially down the stretch, and the first 2 games of the tournament, they've been beating the hell out of teams. They could have lost against UConn, but outside of that, they've just been drilling teams.
Yeah. Well, speaking of drilling teams, I think another game that we haven't even mentioned before tonight, Duke against Arizona, and that line's pretty high at 9.5. But Duke is just obliterating teams right now, and they have so far in the tournament. Won in the first one by 44 points, won their second one by 23 points, and they take on this Arizona team today that Duke's been able to score a lot of points, and I don't know if there's a line you can get high enough for Duke right now. I think regarding the 4 games today, the only team that I potentially like an upset would be Arkansas getting the 5.5, mainly because they're an SEC school, because they're playing so well, and they're going against Texas Tech. So Arkansas getting that 5.5, maybe I'd lean towards the dog there, but I like the favorites in the other 3.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that Arkansas-Texas Tech game because Arkansas is hot sort of right now. They knocked off St. John's and are playing well. But then Texas Tech, to me, they're kind of like the most quiet team, at least of all these teams tonight. Like you never heard about them during the season. They're 27-8, so it's not like they only lost 2 games or something. But they have a guy Toppin who averages like 18 points and 9 boards a game for them, like who's clearly, JT Toppin. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the money's going to be on Arkansas just because it's Cal and, they just beat St. John's, all that. But I don't know. I mean, the Texas Tech is a 3 seed and they're 27-8. Like they're pretty good.
Texas Tech's not shooting the ball particularly well in this tournament. So maybe a week off will have helped them find the shot. 25% from the 3 so far in 2 games in the tournament. If you're going out there and doing that against this Arkansas team, they're absolutely going to take full advantage of you. And Rosa brought it up on Monday, and I think he's 100% right. They played most of the year without Flan.
Yeah.
You pair Flan now with DJ Wagner, plus all of that link that they have in the front court. Arkansas is a team to look out for. I'm with you, Rob. I like Arkansas plus the points today. Now, I'm not sure if they can pull off the upset, but I do think Arkansas, of all the teams who are playing today, Arkansas has the best chance as a dog to
Roser,
take
did any
it.
of these games tonight jump out at you?
I would lay the points with Alabama and Florida. I think the early games, you can actually moneyline parlay them at -106, both of them. But I mean, so I think that's probably a safer bet. But I would lay the points too with both of them. I think Florida I think UConn was a great test for them. Yeah. And as you said, CJ, they ran through the SEC tournament, and UConn was a great test. That's a tournament-tested team. you know their pedigree, and they survived it, and they hit big shots when they had to. I don't think Maryland is going to present those kinds of issues, although the Crab Five they have a really good starting five. I think Florida, I would lay the points, and I'd lay the points with Alabama, too. I think BYU, Alabama, I think you have very similar styles, but this is what Alabama wants, and they do it better, and they have better players, so I'd lay the points there. As for the late games, Arizona showed me nothing that made me go, oh, man, yeah, I really like that Arizona team. I would love for Duke to lose just because I don't like Duke, but I don't know if I'd want to lay the points, so I'd probably just stay away from it. And I think the money line would be too high at that point with a 9.5 spread. Your money line is going to be high to stay away from that. And then the late game, I feel like, at least maybe it's because we're in the South here. A lot of people in Arkansas is so close. It feels like everybody likes Arkansas.
That's what I think.
Which makes me want to take Texas Tech, but man, I tend to want to stay away from the later games and just enjoy watching those.
Why?
But I will take.
Just because of the tip time, or just because you don't like these matchups?
No, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know where to go with the spread or anything like that. And even money line feels dicey to me. So I probably wouldn't touch either of the late games gambling wise. I'd just watch them and enjoy them. But the early games, I'd take Alabama, Florida money line parlay, or I would take them both against the spread.
All right, let's look at the Friday games. There's 4 games coming up tomorrow night, starting the same time, 5 o'clock, I believe, 6 o'clock East Central. You got Ole Miss, Michigan State, the SEC battle, Kentucky, Tennessee. CJ's Michigan Wolverines playing the number 1 seed Auburn, and then Purdue, Houston. That's like 4 pretty good matchups. I don't know, a fish of those 4 matchups, do any of them look appealing to you to bet on?
Oh, I mean, all of them. For me.
That was the wrong question I asked you.
Yeah, I think the game
that's
the most appealing game to me is Ole Miss and Michigan State. You know, I think coming into the tournament, I felt that Michigan State was playing their best basketball. I thought they could make a long run in the NCAA tournament. I did not think Ole Miss was going to make a long run for how poorly they were playing heading into the tournament. And maybe, you know, we even talked about it on the show. Maybe they weren't playing that poorly heading into the tournament. Maybe it was just the teams that they were playing heading into the tournament that made the record as poor as it was down the stretch. But they're playing as well as they've played all season now through these first couple of games. So I'm interested to see what Ole Miss can do against Michigan State. Don't love that one. Don't love the line. Would probably lean towards Michigan State a little bit. But as far as the line is concerned, I like both number 1 seeds, even though they're big numbers at 8.5. I like Auburn and Houston to be able to roll to the next round.
CJ, you've watched Michigan a lot this year. Would you take? I mean, throw the fandom aside. You think Auburn can cover that 10 points, 9.5?
I think that's way too many, and I think that what Michigan poses as a problem is having 2 really good collegiate 7-footers on the court at the same time. So if you're a player, one of the best players in the nation this year, in Broome, who is a post player, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get the easy looks that he can get on other teams. He's a tremendous passer out of double teams and out of the post as well. But if you're being guarded by a 7-footer with another 7-footer floating around in help, I'm not sure how good of a passer you can be. He loves Broome going over the right shoulder to get to his left hand.
He always fakes one way and goes the other way.
Goes over the right with the left hand. If you're doing that and it's Golden or it's Wolf on you, or even if it's Cheddar, who's 6'10", that's not going to be as easy of a shot as it's been in games past. Auburn is great, but I think Michigan has enough big versatility to cause a problem for the Auburn Tigers. I would take Michigan plus the points. Now, as far as straight up goes, Michigan's got to get help from somebody else on the perimeter. So Donaldson has been somebody who has had a big game or 2 for them on the outside. It's been a handful of other players, but it's not been a consistent perimeter player who's been good enough to help them out this season consistently. They'll need that. I'm not sure where that comes from. And if they don't get that, then it's Auburn's game to lose. Because even if you take Broome away, Auburn and Bruce
Pettiford's
Pearl
hot.
has enough talent to get them over the hump. On the Michigan State-Ole Miss game, I would like to remind everybody that Michigan State sucks, and I hate their guts, and that they were dead last in three-point percentage in the Big Ten. That's good for like 330-something nationally. So if Ole Miss can get hot from three and not get suckered into the mud, the way Michigan State likes to drag teams into the mud, I like Ole Miss in that game.
Isn't the under the play there?
I
Because
would think
Michigan
so.
State doesn't score a lot. They're
would
not a
think so.
great three-point shooting team. And
They're tenacious on defense.
yeah,
They're
and they're
hell
going
on
to
defense.
play really. I mean, Padula's been killing it for Ole Miss, and if Michigan State slows him down, it's 143.5 is the number.
Yeah.
I mean, the Houston game is 130. You know, it's 10 points less.
I like the under in the Michigan State Ole Miss game. Michigan State 326th in 3-point percentage this year.
All right. Rose, are any of those games? You've been big on Houston all year.
On Friday, Ole Miss, Michigan State. I don't trust the offenses from either team. So, I would guess take the under, but I don't trust the offenses enough to bet on the spread. As for the game after that,
What is happening?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
There he is. There he is. Johnny Vol.
Johnny Vols here.
Let's get it.
Kentucky, you may beat the Vols twice in the same season.
Twice.
But you don't beat them a third time.
Maybe
We're going
not.
Vols.
Okay. Minus the 4.5.
Great to beat a Tennessee Vol.
Is that what they say? Okay. All right.
I think Gator does that.
Something like that.
Okay.
But
It's great to be a Georgia Bulldog.
That's
Purdue,
right.
Houston, I just don't see how Purdue is going to score. Like you give Kelvin Sampson all week to come up with a game plan to stop their All-American point guard, Braden Smith. So I would think Houston in that one. I'm not touching the spread because I also don't trust Houston's offense. The one that stands out a little bit that makes me go, is Auburn and Michigan, and here's why. Auburn is the team with the least amount of bets coming in on them to cover. And yet that line opened at 7.5 and it's up to 9.5. Why? If bets aren't on them, why is that line going up?
Good question.
Sorry, CJ.
And if we don't know, if something doesn't make sense, what do we do?
We're just going to bet it.
We bet it, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
So I would, it seems crazy. I'd lay it with Auburn.
Okay.
Because my thought at the beginning of the tournament was Auburn was going to look kind of blah in the first two rounds, and then the Sweet 16 on, they're going to run through people.
Yeah.
And so if that was my opinion to start the tournament, I got to stick with it now. Auburn, Tigers, War Eagle, big over Michigan. Sorry, CJ.
Also on the all-name team, we have to mention, I love Denver Jones on Auburn. Like,
Denver
that's
Jones.
a
great name.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
Awesome name.
On the Houston game, it's going to be tough for Houston playing in Indy, 70 miles from Purdue.
Good call there.
In West Lafayette.
Yeah, and then if you beat Purdue and Tennessee wins,
Right.
or Kentucky, right, you're going to be in another basically road game, especially if it's Kentucky in Indy as a 1 seed. So this is interesting seeding
I mean,
choice.
Tennessee's got to
by the
play on the road, basically, against Kentucky
Yep.
for that first game.
Home run Yankees! Home run Yankees!
Oh,
Happy
baseball
opening
started.
day, everybody!
Happy
Who hit
opening
it?
day.
Well, we know it
Austin
wasn't
Wells.
Stanton.
Who?
I can see Austin Wells. I can see it on the TV in the distance. He's got a killer mustache. The Yankees decided to let
Now
them
you
grow
can
facial
wear.
hair,
Well, now
and
you've always been allowed mustaches. You
Okay.
can have beards.
got you.
Yeah,
Now
They
you
have to
can-
be
now you can
well-groomed beards now.
Yeah, now you can have a beard.
Yeah. You're not allowed to do like James Harden.
They moved
You can't
into the
have that.
now they're in the 1940s.
Yeah.
1940, as you might say. But it is opening day. Can we look at with
Yeah,
the slate?
1948.
There's a slate of games today. There's another funny phrase. With baseball, that a bunch of teams are playing today. Rob, the Cardinals are playing. My Braves are playing today at the
Yeah, and
Padres.
there they are.
Sonny Gray on the bump, as we mentioned. Chris Sale for the Braves. King killed the Braves last year
I
in the
love
playoffs.
bumps. I totally got Lang distracted. I
Rosa,
totally had you pause immediately when I said that.
A lot of baseball games today. Is anybody going to beat the Dodgers? I guess that's the real question, right? What do you think, Fish? Is this like a foregone conclusion, or can somebody catch the Dodgers?
It should be a foregone conclusion. They have the best pitching staff in baseball. They have the best lineup in baseball. So they should have the best team in baseball. But, I think that the one great thing about baseball, last year withstanding, is that when you go out and pay for the best lineup and the best team in baseball, it usually gets you to the playoffs. What happens after that is still up for grabs. But Dodgers were able to prevail last year and win the World Series. They're certainly the favorite. They should be the favorite this year. But, a lot can happen with injuries and things of that nature over a 162-game schedule. So I think they're the overwhelming favorite, the highest favorite in baseball since like 1989, since 1989. Since was the last time that a favorite has been had better odds. So it's it's going to be tough to overcome them. But I think there are some teams in the mix in the National League. The Atlanta Braves certainly are one of those teams. I think the Cubs are going to be interesting in the Central this year. And in the West, some teams have given the Dodgers a run for their money over the last couple of years. I don't know which team that would be right now, but there are going to be some teams that'll be on the Dodgers' heels, no doubt about it.
You know who Fish did mention just then? The New York Mets. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're supposed to be good.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. My friend wrote a piece from New York.
Supposed to be good.
Our friend Devin Gordon, who was on our baseball show, wrote a piece for the New York Times recently called "What if the Mets are good?" Because being a Mets fan is so much tight. And I wrote back and I was like, what could go wrong? So
exactly.
We'll see. All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk NBA, and we'll go into some MLB futures also. You're watching The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping.
It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
Behind the back to Jared for the flush.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three. Yes, sir. Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
I never in a million years would have ever thought that John Cena's final run would be as a heel.
I love it.
I love it.
Once they saw this from The Rock,
they knew it. Everybody knew it except for Cody, which was so good.
Great camera work by
And then the
WWE.
kick. Yeah, I don't think WWE gets enough credit for the camera work and the production quality. I mean, it is incredible.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
That's John Roser. I'm Lane Whitaker. CJ's over there yelling. Rob's in Oklahoma City, getting ready to go see the Grizzlies take on the #1 team in the Western Conference.
How you feeling about this game tonight, Fish?
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Should be great, man.
Sitting back with the drink.
Look at this, the sip of Coke, the swig of Coke. Oh.
You should have exhaled like a mouthful of smoke.
Don't sound too excited, Fish.
We should have had this, like the How do you feel about this?
Where are you, by the way?
I'm in my hotel room.
It looks like you're in Riz Gaming.
Looks like I'm laying
or
on the
either
road.
there or you're like on a practice court or something. That looks like, yeah. Like the padding on the wall of the practice
You're on the
court.
Pacers practice court.
Yeah.
It should be fun tonight. I mean, it's a big test for the Grizzlies, and coming off a get-right game against the Utah Jazz, you hope they can carry that a little bit into tonight's game. And, man, this team is so good that they're playing. I mean, they've won 7 straight. They won 14 of their last 15. They've lost just 5 games at home all season. They're 10 wins away from getting 70 on the season. I mean, they're a juggernaut, and it's going to be very difficult. Of course, you're still without John Morant, so it's going to be hard. It's going to be margin of error is going to be very, very slim. If they can play like they did in the second half against the Utah Jazz, it'll give them a shot. And that's what you want when you go into a game like this. You just want to hang around until the fourth quarter and give yourself a chance to win. And hopefully the Grizzlies can do that tonight, because they have not done that against the Oklahoma City Thunder this year.
Yeah.
Well, Fish, I can say, we the hustle. We had to play also the number 1, number 2 team in the West. They're tied for number 1 in the West, the Austin Spurs, the other night. So I know what it's like to have to play the number 1 team in your conference, and I just hope it doesn't go the way it went for us the other night. I believe I turned to our friend Eli Savoy in the second half after the hustle scored, and I said, and the hustle cut it to 32. And that was as close we got the rest of the game.
I mean,
so I hope that doesn't happen to you.
The problem is
the
that,
Grizzlies
Fish,
tonight.
like you said, the Thunder, like if you can play the way the Grizzlies played in the second half against the Jazz, great. Every time we played the Thunder, we played like we played in the first half against the Jazz.
And Wiggins is out, right?
Yes,
he has been our Rudy
Jalen
this
Williams
year.
was at shoot-around earlier today. From
Well, Andrew Wiggins, or Aaron Wiggins, he has been the Rui Hachimura for us this year. He is just, yes.
But Shea's just so good, and
he's ridiculous.
Can you keep him off the free throw line?
No, you can't. He's a foul merchant.
He is a foul merchant, so that's very difficult. And it's this is a huge task. You just don't want to fall behind big early, because when you do that, when you play Oklahoma City, if you fall down by 10, 12 points, it feels like 30. Because they're so good defensively that it's so hard to come back from on them. So you just got to keep within, arm's length for most of the game, and give yourself a chance come late in the game. And hopefully the Grizzlies can do that tonight. I know for a fact that, this being the 5th game of a 5-game road trip, you'd expect everyone's willing and ready to get home, and I think everybody is ready to get home, but I think they know they've got one more to play, and that this could be a big one for them, because I know they know what stands in front of them when they get home as well. That schedule doesn't get any easier.
All right, well, Rob, that was your that was professional Fish.
Thank you very much.
So now give us real Fish.
Man, this guy's gonna suck. No, I'm joking. Like I said, I mean, you just they gotta play well. They gotta play really well. They gotta play the best.
Dude, you just want to see them play well. You want to see them play well.
They have to be better than well. They have to be like almost perfect, because the Thunder are just boat racing every team they play all season long.
Like, to me, if you lose by 10 points tonight, that's a win.
Yeah.
Like, that's a win. Like, that's how good this team is. And with you being undermanned, but they're still like, we've seen them, even if they don't have Jalen Williams or whatever, they are still, that, like you said, right, they are so good.
I mean, they didn't have Chet Holmgren and
they are
Hartenstein
so good defensively
for half the season, and they were still killing everybody.
And they're still killing everybody.
So, yeah, they're a tough team. Can we look at the Western Conference standings? I know we have a graphic of it, because the Grizzlies have kind of bumped up and down in these standings. The Lakers got that last-second win last night, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that sucked.
So, I mean, the Grizzlies are tied with the Lakers. The Lakers have the tie break.
Yeah, and you still got one with the Lakers. You still got one with Denver.
What's
no
that?
kid. Or how about using their foul?
Yeah. Or not taking Tyrese Halliburton out of the game.
Yeah, use your timeout on your last offensive possession to get Halliburton back in the game, rather than freaking having Benedict Mathurin go.
Yeah, the problem is when Mathurin gets the ball, nobody else is getting the ball.
Like,
he thinks he's Michael Jordan.
It's
and
like
going up.
There's a little bit of there's some Dion Waiters in him, man. Like, he's like, I'm not.
Not a little bit. It's like the head waiter. It's not a little bit, Dion.
True. Some Ricky Davis, just like
But there's plenty of wiggle room in those standings. Like, looking at it, the Grizzlies and the Lakers were tied. Like 2 through 6 are all sort of attainable over this last 10 games of the season, it seems like. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, and the thing is, you got one with the Lakers, you got one with the Nuggets still left, you got one with the Warriors, you got one with the Timberwolves. So those are some teams that you can, or at least put distance between yourself and them, or try to stay within distance of those teams as well. So it's you want to stay in that. You first and foremost want to stay in the top 6.
Yeah.
After that, you'd like to be in the top 4, obviously, to get the home court advantage, and preferably you'd like to be number 3. That's ultimately where you'd like to be. What I would like to see with 10 games left, I'd like to see the Grizzlies be playing really good basketball heading into the postseason. And, the other night was a nice step in that direction, but I'd like to see it consistently. I mean, let's be honest. That was the Utah Jazz you played, a team that's won 1 game this month. So I just want to see them play well down the stretch. I also like to see them be healthy down the stretch. And as of now, that's just not the case.
For sure.
You talk about them playing well down the stretch reminded me of the Braves because – in the 90s, the Braves won the NL East 15 years in a row, and they would always have it wrapped up with like 2-3 weeks ago, and they would sit all the stars to make sure they were healthy going into the postseason. But seems like every year they would kind of lose momentum and get to the postseason and really struggle or have to work to get out of that first round. And I think if you're the Grizzlies, like the way they've played the last 2 weeks, the way I look at it is, well, at least it's happening now. Like you'd rather this happen now than 3 weeks from now, a month from now when you're in the postseason trying to play one of these good teams and beat them in the postseason. So they have time to figure things out a little bit right now. Can we look at the East standings?
I don't have the East standings for you.
We don't have it. All right. Well, I know that the Cavs have been running away with it. The Celtics are starting to look like the Celtics again.
They killed Phoenix last night. You could turn that game off early. No, they are Phoenix or Golden State. And Phoenix have been playing well. Phoenix have been winning games lately. They were had won 4 or 5 in a row going into that one last night. Boston, it is Kristaps Porzingis is the biggest X factor in the entire NBA. He is everything. If Kristaps Porzingis is going to be healthy, the Celtics are unbeatable. That's my opinion. They are totally unbeatable if he is healthy and he's playing basketball. If he's not healthy and you're not getting 100% Porzingis out there or he's not out there, the Celtics are vulnerable, and and there are teams that can absolutely beat them.
He and Mookie Betts have had this like mysterious illness the last couple of weeks where and Mookie Betts has lost 25 pounds since they went to Japan, he said, and he's still sick, still throwing up, and can't get healthy. I don't
think Porzingis went to Japan. Might have.
How do we know?
Porzingis. Yeah, I mean, he scored 30 last night.
Yeah, he's good. Tatum's been out for them, but he's apparently like right on the verge of coming back. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, they are 5-0 Boston. Well, Porzingis has played five games in the month of March. They are 5-0 in all of them. He has averaged 24 points, 8 rebounds, 58% from the field, 40% from 3 in the 5 games he's played in March.
You know who else is?
He is freaking awesome.
Who else has been sneaky good in the East the last couple of weeks is the Bulls. And
they have. Dude, have you? Go look at Josh Giddey's numbers. Go look at Josh Giddey's numbers. Giddey for the city is
Kobe White too.
I love Kobe.
They've been really good the last couple of weeks.
One of my favorite players. Giddey is Giddey 14.7 or almost 8 rebounds, 7 assists. This is probably the most underrated thing of the season. Giddey's shooting 47 from the field. Josh Giddey takes 4 threes a game and is shooting 38% from 3 this year. In the month of March, they are 5-2 in the games Giddey has played. 22 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 54 from the field, 40 from 3.
Their last 3 games, they won at Sacramento, at LA, at Denver.
Yep.
And they play the Lakers again
They play them tonight.
Yeah. So,
go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Go
Bulls.
Bulls.
Lakers on the second half of a back-to-back. LeBron coming off that tip-in and the Pat McAfee appearance.
Oh, speaking of the Bulls.
Oh, he was on Pat McAfee? I hadn't heard.
Yeah,
you hadn't heard about that. Speaking of the Bulls, Fish, Bulls red road jerseys, top 5, not 5 jerseys.
Oh, I think a top 5 jersey for sure.
Yeah, top 5, not 5. They're top 5, but they're not number 5.
We were talking about this. You and I were talking about it during a game, right?
During a game, yeah. We were talking about it before a game, yeah. Because it was the night we were playing Miami, because Miami's black road jerseys also great jersey.
Non-city uniform. We were talking about the best ones.
Yeah, non-city.
That could be a top 5 coming up, Fish, for us on this show. Can we look real quick at the baseball futures, MLB futures, with the season starting today?
By the way, the Austin Wells home run, the only catcher with a leadoff home run on opening day in Major League Baseball history. How about that?
Really?
Yeah. How about the Dodgers at plus 240?
Wait, what? Run that Austin Wells thing by me again.
The first catcher with a leadoff home run on opening day in Major League Baseball.
Because catchers are never the leadoff hitter.
I can't believe Charlie O'Brien never did that.
He was never a leadoff hitter.
Or Jason Kendall.
Javi Lopez.
Benito Santiago.
Bruce
Benito
Benedict.
Santiago. Let's go. Sandy Alomar Jr.
Charles Johnson.
Tom Pagnozzi.
You remember the year Santiago changed uniform numbers to 0-1?
Yes.
He was like number something, and then all of a sudden he switched to 0-1.
Benito Santiago?
Yeah, Benito Santiago wore number 0-1 for a season. Anyway, I mean, the Dodgers plus 240, and the Braves were the second team behind them, which is sort of surprising because the Braves, they signed Profar in the offseason, and that's it. They did nothing else. Let Charlie Morton go, let some other guys go. So, Darno. So, I'm a little surprised the Braves are second at plus 850. Yankees plus 9 is a little weird too, with everybody hurt with them.
Red Sox are sneaky, I think, at plus 1,800. They should make a big leap this year.
There are a lot of Benito Santiago jerseys on eBay.
Oh, yeah?
Giants,
How much
Cubs.
are they going
You
for?
can get the Marlins sleeveless one.
Order
for
one
$50.
for all of us. All right, look, let's take a break. We're going to come back. We got some fish nuggets. We got some brackets to talk about, and we got a top 5, too. We're going to take one more break. We're going to come back here. You're watching The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does, too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping.
It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane 3, yes sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
I never in a million years would have ever thought that John Cena's final run would be as a heel.
I love it.
I love it.
Once they saw this from The Rock,
they knew it. Everybody knew it except for Cody, which was so good.
Great camera work by
And then the
WWE.
kick. Yeah, I don't think WWE gets enough credit for the camera work and the production quality. I mean, it is incredible.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. Lang Whitaker here with John Roser, CJ Hurd, and Rob Fisher live from the practice facility in Indianapolis. No, he's at a hotel in somewhere.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. Ready for the Grizz Thunder tonight.
Yes.
Hey,
by the way, Grizz Thunder on WMC Action News 5 tonight. as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's on not only on FanDuel Sports Network, where the Braves are also starting at about 20 minutes, but you can watch the Grizzlies across Tennessee tonight on WMC, NBC. How about Tony Allen, by the way, breaking in the WMC partnership with just cursing left and right during the Jersey retirement ceremony?
It was after 10 o'clock. It was fine.
It's the full Tony. It was this weekend too. Like, what do you want?
I mean, it was on instead of Saturday Night Live. It was fine.
Fish, I have a nugget for you. We're gonna do fish nuggets, but I have a nugget. You guys try to guess this. Roser, 3 Major League Baseball current teams have never had a player win the MVP.
Oh, okay.
What are the 3 teams?
Hang on. MLB. Let me get to the
Rockies.
standings.
Who?
Rockies.
No.
Larry Walker won an MVP.
Fish, you got any ideas?
The Rays.
That's right. That's one.
Have 3 current Major League Baseball.
He just got one. The Rays are one.
Have never had a player win MVP.
That's right.
Seattle.
No.
No, I
Ken
guess
Griffey. They had Ken Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, they did.
The Diamondbacks.
That's 2.
Oh, nice. It's not the Marlins, is it?
No, it was Stanton won the MVP for them.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I actually looked that one up because I thought it had to be the Marlins, and it's not.
Texas Rangers.
No.
The Padres?
Nope.
Astros?
Nope. You know who it is? I'm just going to tell you. The New York Mets.
Really?
Really? Piazza?
Didn't they have Strawberry?
Yeah, he won the MVP, though.
Okay.
They've never had an MVP.
All right.
Until this year. Juan Soto.
Perhaps Juan Soto. What could go wrong?
What New York Mets? What could go wrong?
Yeah, that should be there. That should be there. Like,
Yeah, it's
their
amazing
hashtag.
how their season ended. Everybody's jacked up, but like for 90% of the Mets season last year, they were miserable. Like, and I just know that because Gary's a Mets fan, so
Yeah.
I'd see him every day. And eventually, he got to a point during the season he quit wearing Mets stuff because he was like,
That's when you know it's serious.
Yeah, he was like, this sucks. It's like me last year football season. Eventually, I just stopped wearing Niner stuff. I was like, well, I'm tired of like being at a gas station. Somebody's like, tough loss yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, man, sorry about the Niners. And I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of hearing this crap.
We get
Quit
it all the
wearing
time now because the Grizzlies. Like, people ask me about the Grizzlies all the time, and you don't have to be wearing Grizzly stuff because they know our faces
regularly. It's a thing.
And they call me Rob Fisher. Hey, Rob. Speaking of Rob Fisher, can we get some nuggets?
Let's do some fish nuggets. What do
Yeah.
you say? All right, we got some basketball nuggets. We'll start with the Florida Gators. Walker Clayton Jr. of the Gators has recorded at least 15 points and 3 made threes in all 4 career NCAA tournament games. The only other Division I player to start a career doing that this century was Steph Curry.
Wow.
He did it in 5 games from 2007 to 2008. Here's one for you, CJ. Michigan. Last year, Michigan was 8-24 last year. This year, they're in the Sweet 16. No other team has lost that many games one season and then made the Sweet 16 the next. That is since the Sweet 16 officially began in 1975.
Shout out.
What does it
NIL.
mean officially began in 1975? They didn't have a Sweet 16 before then?
It wasn't March Madness. It wasn't the NCAA men's tournament, I don't think, before then.
Well, what did UCLA win all those years?
I don't know what they
That
won.
was in the 60s.
I don't know what they won. And maybe the field wasn't as large. I think in 75 the field might have jumped to 32. I think. I'll look
but they
that
just
up.
didn't call it a Sweet 16, I guess. All right.
I don't know why we ever question the Nuggets. I don't.
Sometimes the Nuggets need a little clarity.
All right. Here's the next nugget. Before this season, no conference had ever had 8 teams win a game in a single NCAA tournament. This year, the Big Ten and the SEC both had 8 teams win a game in a single NCAA tournament.
And
Pretty
which
impressive.
conference has the most teams left? Oh, that's right.
I would imagine the SEC. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's
it's
right.
damn near half the field.
It just means more.
75 is when.
More.
7 teams left.
1975 is when the tournament expanded from 32 to 64.
So before 75, when you made the Sweet 16, they just didn't call it. They just called it the 16.
I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right. Both Maryland men's and women's team are in the Sweet 16 this year. It's the first time that has ever happened for the Maryland Terrapins. Yeah. 4 schools this season are sending their women's and their men's teams to the Sweet 16. Tennessee, Ole Miss, Duke, and Maryland. Yeah. And 6 SEC schools are Sweet 16 bound in the women's bracket. That ties their own NCAA tournament record set back in 1997. So the SEC dominating both brackets.
So of the 32 Sweet 16 men's and women's, 13 are from the SEC.
That is correct. Good math. Good math, Lane.
It means more. That's SEC math.
That's right. UConn women advanced to their 31st straight Sweet 16.
That's crazy.
That is insane. And then we got a baseball nugget. Tarek Skubal of the Detroit Tigers, the 4th reigning Cy Young winner, to make his debut against the defending World Series champions, as he will face the LA Dodgers tonight. The other 3, Blackjack McDowell in 1994 against Toronto, in 1984 Lamar Hoyt against Baltimore, in 1977 Randy Jones against Cincinnati. So the first time since 1994 that the reigning Cy Young winner will make his debut against the defending World Series champs. That's tonight as the Tigers face the Dodgers. Dodgers big favorite tonight over the Tigers, and Tarek Skubal, who was a covering machine last season. And Blake Snell, he will toe the rubber, take the mound, jump on the hill for the Dodgers tonight
Climb
as well.
the bump.
So Skubal against Snell. If you want some underdog money, maybe the Tigers are a good pick tonight.
Yeah. Hey, I'll always bet against the Dodgers whenever I get a chance. Well, we did talk about all these NCAA tournament games starting tonight. We have 4 tonight, 4 tomorrow night. And Fish asked us earlier this week for our top 5 for this week. Who are the 5 best coaches remaining in the NCAA tournament on the men's side? So we can start. You want to start with my list, Jacob?
Sure.
We can start with my list. I went with the team I picked to win it all, Alabama. I went with Nate Oates, number 1. I thought Bruce Pearl. I don't want to like Bruce Pearl because he really wants us to like him, and he tries to be on social media and does things to kind of get out there. But he's a good coach. I'll go him too. Tom Izzo's done it forever, and he's got a team that's not, to me, that dynamic in the Sweet 16 again. Kelvin Sampson is, I think, as good as anybody else. And then no one ever talks about Todd Golden, the Florida coach, who's, he's kind of creepy, I think. I'm not sure. There's been some, things with him. But Florida's been rolling all season long, and they've been really good. When Florida played UConn, I was watching that game, and I was like, man, they just showed Dan Hurley 1,000 times during that game. It's like how during the Chiefs game, they just cut to Taylor Swift throughout. They never showed Golden, and his team won. So I think Golden deserves a little bit of respect in this list. Rob, why don't you take us through your top 5?
All right, I'm going Tom Izzo, number 1. Not just resume. Just resume. Tom Izzo, number 1 on my top 5 list. I think Bruce Pearl, the job that he's done at Auburn has been spectacular. The job that he's done this year has been great. I put him at number 2. Kelvin Sampson, I think, is it's amazing where he's taken Houston in just a couple of years in the Big 12. It's pretty incredible. But ultimately, he hasn't, gone far enough in the NCAA tournament. But I'll put him up at number 3. John Calipari has. He's won a national championship, and maybe the job that he did with Arkansas this year might be the best job he's done with the team in his career. To be in the Sweet 16 is quite remarkable for what he's done. And then Nate Oates at number 5.
Number 5?
Number 5. I could use a little more from Nate Oates before I move him up the list.
He went to the Final Four last year.
Okay. Well, all these coaches, haven't all these coaches been to a Final Four? No, not last year.
I'm saying last year,
been to a Final Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, good for Nate Oates. He's number 5.
He's hating. CJ.
I'll start with Kelvin Sampson. I think the job he's doing at Houston is really, really good and truly remarkable. A lot of people wondered, Gary Parrish has brought this up a time or two. Hey, all right, Houston's beating up on the American. What's going to happen when they go to the Big 12? And Houston has been incredible in the Big 12 so far. So give me Kelvin Sampson. I'll go Oates. Number 2, it was tough between Oates and Pearl. I ended up rolling with Oates. I think he's had a bit more tournament success overall than Bruce Pearl has. Calipari comes in at number 4. He's undefeated as a double-digit seed in March Madness, and that's because this is his first time being a double-digit seed in March Madness. This is his first time as a 10 or higher or lower seed, however you want to look at it. In the tournament, he's got a national championship. He's got all the Sweet 16s and Final Fours, Elite 8s as well. I'll go with Cal there at 4, and then give me Coach Shire out of Duke as a young, like this. Shire and Golden are both having the same issue with me in my head, where it's, hey, you just got here, right? Like both of them are in year 2, if I recall correctly, of their coaching tenure. Would like to see a bit more from both of them before I move them higher up on the list.
I don't, Shire to me, like, I don't know how much of that's Coach K still, it's the blueprint of Coach K, or Coach K still being there. Like, I don't know, but
I don't think that matters anymore. I think what matters is, do you have NIL money? If that's yes, Duke is always going to have that. Are you a good coach?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what it's going to boil down to now. Can you get everything to gel quickly? Can you input your system and your schemes year in, year out with completely different players because of incoming freshmen and transfer portal guys, while losing key pieces from your team to the portal, right? Yeah. Are you able to manage that? And he has done a good job of that the past 2 seasons.
John Roser.
All right, let's rock. Kelvin Sampson, number 1. I would say so far, CJ, I think you could take it a step further and say not only has he, you questioned if the question, can Kelvin Sampson, you beat up on the American, but can you now do this when you get to the Big 12? Not only has he done it and been great in the Big 12, I think Houston is now the premier program to beat in the Big 12. He has won back-to-back regular season Big 12 titles. Kansas is not the Kansas of old. I think Houston is now the premier program in the Big 12 conference. Tom Izzo, number 2. Guy's been doing it forever. I'm going to go Dusty May, number 3. You got Florida Atlantic to a Final Four. You're on this list. Bruce Pearl, number 4. I don't know. I don't love the way Bruce Pearl's team plays, but they're awesome. And they're my pick to win it all. And then, Nate Oates, 5, because, I don't know, they're fun. Cool. Whatever.
I mean, who's is Izzo like the closest thing left to a Coach K now? Like the guy who's been around forever and, consistently good.
Lost a bunch of those. K.
Izzo, Bill Self.
Although Bill Self,
Cal.
Bill Self looks like he's still young. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe that's because his hair hasn't changed. But
yeah, I mean, Bill Patino.
Patino, yeah.
Isn't Patino his own thing?
Yeah, Calipari and Patino are kind of their own thing to me. Yeah, they're like their own category.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
It's different too because they've been changing schools.
Patino looks like the guy when I see Rick Pitino looks like the guy that tells you and says, "All right, I believe you, I forgive you," and then walks away, and then somebody comes up behind you and puts a bag over your head. That's what Rick Pitino looks like. I mean, just straight gangster. Like, he really does. I'm like, but he's a great basketball coach. Fish, we do have more home runs. Austin Wells is not the only one.
Who else?
Anthony Volpe has hit a home run for the Yankees, and somebody named Capra has hit a home run for the Milwaukee Brewers, and Adley Rushman has hit a home run for the Baltimore Orioles. So we have nothing but solo dingers today. There have been 4 runs scored in baseball so far. All 4 are solo dingers.
If anybody knows about solo dingers,
it's me.
John Roser.
Most of us. What do you have 2? What? I didn't know. You got 2 of them? What?
Nothing. All right. Well, that's today's odds goal. CJ's laughing.
I mean, it's a valid question when you're like.
We're not judgmental. We listen. We don't judge.
Yeah.
There might be some people out there listening with double dingers, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Triple dingers. Grand slam dingers.
How do I get to?
There's been a lot of solo dingers. You brought it up, so to speak. We're gonna get out of here. That's today's
awesome.
We gotta get. Oh yeah, free picks. Who's got free picks? Anybody?
Parlay Alabama and Florida tonight. If you want to do point spread, it gets you plus 253. If you want to go money line, it's minus 106.
Could you do an all SEC parlay this weekend? You could do. Well, no, Tennessee plays Florida, right? So you can't.
It would still
plays
be
Kentucky.
You would still pick an SEC.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You could do all the SEC teams for this weekend and have a pretty good shot at it. I don't know what the odds would be for that, all those together, but That's not bad. Except Arkansas scares me against Texas Tech. I think that's who would let down your parlay. Fish, you got any free picks? And you always do.
Yeah, Alabama tonight is the one that I really like in college basketball. Baseball, I like the Diamondbacks over the Cubs tonight. Zach Gallen against Justin Steele. I'll take Arizona. That's at -125. And then I'll parlay the Angels and the Mariners tonight. The Angels and the Mariners together. The Angels at the White Sox. Mariners are taking on Oakland. You'll get about a -105 on that parlay tonight as well.
Awesome. All right. Now I can say that's today's Odds Couple show. And so we'll be back here on Monday with a smaller show. But we'll all actually be here. The Grizzlies are back in town. The Grizzlies got 3 games in 4 nights coming up. Get down to FedEx Forum. Come see them play. You got NCAA tournament action all weekend. You got baseball. You got the Masters coming up. This is like, to me, one of the best times of the year for sports. So make sure while the weather's beautiful outside, you sit on your couch inside and just watch a lot of sports. For Rob Fisher, for CJ Hurt, for John Roser, I'm Lang Whitaker. We appreciate you watching The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media.